A couple months ago, I made a video about a professional harasser, better known as a YouTube prankster, who loved nothing more than to go out in public and be a douchebag and a nuisance to any stranger he came into contact with. Until he harassed the wrong one and ended up getting shot, which then put him in the hospital, and while he was fighting for his life with a bullet in his abdomen, he had a realization, a moment of awe. He said, "You know what? I need to leave this all behind me. I learned my lesson. I'm going to grow from this and leave all that immature YouTube harassment pranking behind me. I'm going to become a better man and work and focus on myself. I realize I messed up. I made a mistake." Yeah, I couldn't keep a straight face. I should have just told you Santa Claus was real because it would have been the same thing. I just lied straight to your face. Everything I just said, completely made up, because he actually had the opposite reaction. He's using getting shot, nearly dying, as a stepping stone to further launch his YouTube pranking career, to become even more insufferable and keep harassing strangers in public. And my theory, my leading theory here, is that he's continuing to YouTube prank and do the same thing that got him shot because he's so dumb, he lacks so much critical thought that he's not capable of thinking about death and understanding what death truly means. Therefore, he can't be scared of dying. And if you're not scared of death, of course you're going to keep going out and doing the same thing that gave you a near-death experience. He's like trying to go Super Saiyan in terms of being insufferable. He's only leveling up. But that's not what I'm here to talk about today. I'm actually here to talk about what happened in the situation of him getting shot. The delivery driver who shot him he's being reset. The delivery driver who shot him was being held until the jury, the whole blah, blah, blah legal stuff. What the fuck am I saying? Oh my god, man. I'm not going to restart that. I want you to listen to this and see how stupid I just sounded. I'm not cutting that out. I'm not redoing it. Motherfucker. Speak! The delivery driver, who in this video you can see was being harassed by this YouTube prankster, ended up whipping out his pistol and going, "Pow, pow, buckaroo." There's actually a really funny meme I seen that someone posted about this. They said it's just a prank, and it's Bugs Bunny whipping out his 6-shooter and just fired it from the hip, just nonchalantly. Because that's pretty much what happened. The dude whipped out his pistol and shot him. Now, I'm not going to say that he definitely deserved it. I'm not going to say that, though, for legal reasons or whatever, but the guy that shot him here, his name is Alan Coley. He's been in jail since April when this thing took place, and the jury actually just finally came to a verdict on the situation, and they found him not guilty of shooting this YouTube prankster because he was acquitted of aggravated malicious wounding in the shooting of Tanner Cook. Let's go ahead and make this video like an episode of Better Call Saul and get real legal with it, baby. Get into the judicial system. So while Alan was acquitted of the aggravated malicious wounding in the shooting of Tanner, he also had 2 lesser firearm counts, and they decided to convict him on one and acquit him of the other. I'm assuming they're not very serious, though, because they don't really go into more depth than that. But anyways, Alan, of course, pleaded not guilty and said he was acting in self-defense, which I gotta say, it definitely seems like the case. If someone walked up to me, because if you haven't seen my other video of me talking about the prank, what he did was he had like Google Translate up. He had Siri saying some stupid words on his phone, like penis balls, cock wiener. I don't know what the phone was saying, but he had it TTSing, and he kept walking towards Alan going, just harassing him. Exactly what the definition of harassment. That's what he was doing to this stranger. And the guy kept saying, Alan said, "Hey man, stop, get away from me, stop, I don't want to deal with you." And then Alan, being the amazing YouTube prankster he is, pushed it too far. He stepped way over the line, and he kept following Alan and pushing the phone in his face to the point where Alan said he felt threatened by the 6'5" Tanner Cook, so he whipped out his pistol that he has a permit to conceal carry and popped him. Pow. And now, I would never make fun of somebody getting shot, obviously. If he died, of course, I would feel bad. But when someone deserves it, and then they end up being okay in the end, you can make fun of someone for getting shot, especially if they did it to themselves. But I can only imagine how this went down as one of the jurors. You get called for jury duty, you're like, man, I don't want to do jury duty. It's one of the most boring things in the world. Why me? Why me, God? Why me? and then you sit down in that chair and they wheel out the TV. I'm imagining this like an elementary school movie day. They wheel out the little box TV on the cart and they turn it on and they're like, we want you to watch this video. It pertains very heavily to the case that you're going to have to make a decision on. And then you see the dude whip out a gun and go, bang. After you see that, it no longer is a boring day of jury duty. This just got interesting. And apparently the phrase the phone was saying, they say it right here. It says, hey dips, quit thinking about my twinkle. Of course, the sentence that Tanner formed wasn't a coherent one because the dude probably doesn't know the English language and it's his first language. But what does that mean? Hey dips, quit thinking about my twinkle. What is that? What is that supposed to mean? But anyways, a quote from the prosecutor, Eden Holmes. She said, quote, they were playing a silly phrase on a phone. How could the defendant have found that he was reasonably in fear of imminent bodily harm? I can tell you how. Because someone that does something like that and repeatedly harasses you and is trying to get all up in your face and shoving a phone in your face and not listening to you, and they're bigger than you, I can definitely see how he felt threatened. Now, should he have pulled out a gun and shot him? I don't know. That's up in the air. That's up for debate. Did he deserve it? That's also up for debate. You know, make your own decisions. But I can definitely see how he thought he could have potentially been a threat. But one of the big reasons why the aggravated malicious wounding and malicious discharge of a firearm got dropped is because they required the jury to find that Allen had acted with malice. And if the jury found that Allen was just responding to this provocation that reasonably aroused fear or anger, then there is no malice under the law. And that's pretty much all the information for this situation. All you need to know is the jury found the delivery driver not guilty of shooting this YouTube prankster, which I say is a big dub in terms of the judicial system, and one step towards getting rid of the pest known as YouTube pranksters once and for all. Now, I don't mean getting rid of them in like a cleansing, in like a 1940s cleansing kind of way. I just mean that YouTube pranksters need to be an extinct species. They don't all need to die, but I'm saying it's a step in the right direction. They need to be wiped off of YouTube. And my hope from this situation is that other YouTube pranksters who are doing very similar things to Tanner, harassing people in public, even TikTok pranksters, they're just as bad. Pranksters in general, who are just harassing people to get a reaction and a rise out of them, to get interactions on their posts, I hope they see this situation, see that there is danger in it, that people will shoot you over this, and then they back off a bit, and maybe they quit, they stop their career before it even starts, or they see that the jury found this guy not guilty for shooting him, and then that deters them. But the ones that keep pushing forward, all I'm saying, whatever happens, happens. They had their chances. They had multiple opportunities. Tanner has a second chance at life, and he's choosing to do the same thing that got him shot in the first place. So whatever happens, happens. If he gets shot again, hey, I would not be surprised. And I'm going to say he deserves whatever happens, you know? His life's in his own hands. He can do whatever he wants with it. I'm not going to sit here and try to be his dad and say, hey, son, you better stop YouTube pranking before you get shot again and you don't survive this time. I'm going to let him do his thing. If he wants to harass people in public still, by all means, you have free will. Unfortunately, humans have that ability to make their own decisions. But other than that, man, I'll catch you in the next one.